Right, good morning. I'm with the AP900 and I'm just going to start taking it apart. So the first part I've got to do is release the air. And that's not fitting. Dear. Oh, maybe right, okay, so while I'm releasing the air, I can now undo these screw jobs things. I'll be marking these junction pivots again in the right pen. I've emptied the air only because I might have to take the cylinder off. And alright, just taking the silencer off. I'm just taking the silencer off and then the shroud, and then I can try and remove the barrel. Also I've got to loosen the clip. The barrel clip. In fact, what I do, I take that barrel clip out, I think, if I can. It's a bit tight. Right, it's rocking, so I'm hoping that the barrel will come. Oh, first let's release. Yeah, it's tight again. I don't want to shake the table too much because I've got a cup of tea on it. Very strange how this it might be better if I took that. I'm not quite sure if that's moving or not. Well, you can see what I'm doing, trying to remove the barrel. I think it's... So let me turn the cameras off. I'll turn the cameras off and just get this barrel out, okay? So... well, no, I spent 5 minutes on it and it's not coming off, so I'd have to take the air tube off and see if we can get it out. I don't know why the barrel's so stiff in this rifle. Possibly it's badly machined at the end. Okay, so take the air tube out. I don't know if I can get that camera down any further. Oops. Yeah. Cool, I didn't tighten it. Don't remember tightening it that much, but okay. Right, okay, so the air tube's off. And it looks like I dropped one nut or bolt somewhere on the floor. Oh, I got it, okay. Right, now to try and get this out. That's it, the barrel's out, okay. So I can put the rifle away. Right, okay, the barrel's out, so I'm just looking at the transfer port. It's a bit dark in there, I don't know why I should put the light on. And we've still got swoof around that barrel. I'm not quite sure if you're going to catch it on the... We've still got swoof in that transfer port, you can see it. It's a bit of tissue. And we'll see. Now this is a clean bit of tissue, okay? You can see I've just taken that off. And I'm just wiping it round, which I did the other time, if you remember. And look. Now I wiped that round the other time, and why all that black is there, I don't know. Because all I'd done was a dry fire, if you remember. Right then, I'm just going to get my push rod and pellet. Right, so I've got my push rod. And I've got a very clean pellet. Okay, so I'm going to stick that in the end, and we're going to push it through. Oop. We're going to push it through as best as we can. Right, that's now gone on to the transfer port. that was a bit tight going over that transfer port, but the pellet is, now that's tight just there. This part here is a bit tight, so I want to mark my rod. So this is where it's tight. You can see it's stopping. So I'm going to mark that rod there. So I've marked that rod. God, dear me, should have cut it down. As you can see, I've marked that rod where it's on a tight spot. So now I'm going to push it through again. Well, try and push it through. Yeah, that's very tight. And the pellet's out. So at the end of that barrel, that really became tight. And it's a non-choke barrel, I believe. Now the idea of it is to see if we can see anything on this pellet. And this is what you can't see, I don't think. The pellet's on the paper, just here. And this is where I need a microscope. I got one on order, funny enough, and but it don't arrive until right, I can see rifle markings on the head, but not the skirt. And I can see a chunk or an abrasive mark. Oh, I can see a bit of rifling on the skirt now. All I'm doing is rolling it a bit and using a magnifying glass . I want to see where that abrasive part is. I've got another magnifying glass, but it's not clear. It's not all that clear, but we'll have a look. It's really hard to say. As I say, I really need a forgot what they called, electric magnifying. Yeah, I got, as I say, I got one on order, but there's no real damage on that pellet. So I'm gonna run it through again, because it felt tight. It felt tight when I pushed it through where the transfer port was. Right, it's on the transfer port, and that is tight. Oh, raise the camera up, hang on. Yeah, it's on the transfer port, and that is quite tight. Now, I'm not quite sure if you're going to see the pellet. Hang on. This is, as I say, it's a bit awkward. You can see the pellet in the transfer ports here, where the transfer port is, and that is kind of tight just there. So that's where it's tight. So I'm going to mark that if I can. Right, I've got a marking, a black mark where the transfer port is, and also almost at the end of barrel. So there's two marks, and I'm just going to push it. No, that cleared through okay. So I'm coming up, and you can see there is. Right, okay, so that's gone clear. Now I'm going to mark that there. Right, okay, so I've got two marks now. Around about 3/4 of an inch, see it? And now that pellet should just come out. Ah, okay, so now there's another mark, another tightness, and I think that's on the crown. So I'm going to mark that. Right, okay, so I've marked three, there's 3 marks. You can see 3 marks there. And you can see that is holding, and that's where the crown is. See the pellet? So the crown is a bit tight, and now the pellet's out. So on my rod I have the breech, then 3/4 of well, just under 3/4 of an inch. Right, that's where it gets tight. Okay, so I'm pushing the rod in. That's where it gets tight with the pellet to that point, and then it goes clear, and then you got the crown to go through. So it looks like there's three points I've got to polish, and really check that crown, because that was tight when it came out, and that possibly going to be burrs. Not much of a burr, but Well, I'm not quite sure whether it's a lot of burr, but that's about it really. That's all I can do until that's all I can do until so really I think do a little bit of polishing at the transfer port. I'll line these lines up. So from that part of the barrel, there to that part, you can see I moved it up. Right, so it's moved up round about just under 3/4 of an inch. That's where it's got tight. And then the transfer, the crown as it comes out. Now that was a choke barrel. That would be a choke barrel, quite for say from that part there until it comes out the barrel. But it's not a choke barrel. So why is that 3/4 of an inch and the crown hard to push through? I could be wrong, I don't know. The only thing I can do is polish it and see how it'll go. And I'll have to check where the transfer port is in the block, because that swoof, the swoof that was in that transfer port is now gone. Oh, while I'm here, I'll get my pen, white marker pen out and just right, okay, so you can see the two white dots, divots, where the grub screws go in. But I'll have to check the gun where the barrel goes in. And once again, this is going to be a bit difficult. Now, I don't think you're going to see down there, but at the bottom there, there's a lot of swoof. There's a lot of swoof, and so that's got to be really cleaned out, because it could possibly be where the air comes out. So I can't get down deep enough really. But there is dirt on that. Yeah, it's very hard to see down there. But anyway, I'm going to put it back together because I'm going to shoot it a couple of times, and then when that microscope comes back, when I receive that microscope, what it's called, I can then put the pellet, push it through again, put the pellet on. What I'm going to do is do my O-rings with oil, but also I'm going to put oil on where the silicone oil where it goes into the gun. Maybe that might help, I don't know. Right, now I'm going to just reassemble it, and let's take that out. Yeah, it's badly machined. Whatever way you look at that, that is so badly machined. The way the barrel has to go in, and I don't want to push it too much. Last time I pushed it too much, and right, okay, so that's a little bit too. That's a little bit too much. See, so tight. Right, let's try and line these divots up, if I can see them. Now last time it was quite easy, quite easy to see where it lines up, but this time I can't. Now let's check the magazine first, see if that goes in. So that's barrel's bit. That's it. So the magazine goes in. That's just telling me that this back end is in the right place. But I just got a twist. And I can't see these. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, they're lined up. So put the first scrub screw in. By checking with the magazine, you know it's sitting right. So that was the reason I did it. If the magazine wouldn't go in, it means the barrel is too far back. You know, doing this on camera is, you know, I find it very awkward, you know. And this is not screwing in. Oh, shit. I mean, you know, it is all, you know, I really need to balance it on something, but it's not. The scrub screw is not just screwing in. Strange. Now that screws in that one. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this first one out. Oh no, I'm putting it in the wrong hole. The grub screw's already in the hole I was trying to get it in. So this is the hole. How stupid, yeah. Right, okay, so the two grub screws are in. Now if you look at this, if you look at the end of the barrel, you can see a lip, see it? Now that lip goes into that groove on that on the magazine or a single loader, and then you lock it in. And if it don't get, you know, if you push your barrel in and that groove there is too proud, it means you won't get your magazine in. You know, it'll be tight. So the barrel's back on. I can now fit the air tube. Now this transfer port, although you can see it's a 1mm, you can change, you know, pull that white disc out and change it for a bigger one if you wanted. Right, okay, so now all we have to do is put these two big bolts in. If we can, and get it down. I've not done that wrong, have I? Shouldn't have done that really, because that air tube's not down. Oh, the air tube is down. Okay. Yeah, when you're mucking about with any sort of rifle, make sure you've got decent Allen keys. These, the ones I've got, are not. You know, some, well, one particularly particular one, the small one, the head on the bottom of the stem is kind of rounded off. Yeah, you really need good quality Allen keys to do this sort of work, you know. Right, okay, so that's that. Now it leaves us with the shroud and barrel. So I can tighten this, what do you call it, barrel band, I don't know, whatever you call it. Tighten that back up. And never over tighten anything, because there's no need to over tighten. Now I'm not going to worry about the marks on my shroud. I'm just going to tighten it up hand tight. The reason why I'm putting it back together and not leaving it apart is that because that barrel's so stiff to come out, more times I take it out, the easier it's going to be. You know, so that's the way I'm looking at it. So we've got one more item to put on, which is the bottom rail, bottom M-lock rail, and then we'll be and it's a small one. Where's a small one? It's too small. It's too big. Okay. Yeah, as I said before, it's a very easy gun to take apart, and that's not lining up. Yeah, very easy gun to take apart, but you can still make mistakes. Yeah, you can still make mistakes if you're not careful, like the mistake I just made about the grub screw, which I already put it in one hole, and right, one more screw. And that's all done. So the rifle is now put together, and I just got to tighten this up. That's the bleed valve. Tighten it up so I can then run the compressor. And what I do, I run the compressor now because I can show the compressor is completely running properly now. well, can't show you, but I can. Well, I can show you. But so let's put that down on the ground, and you got, because it's that's empty. I keep that open. If you close it, well, no. Yeah, you keep it cocked, because if I done that, right, okay, the hammer will be on that valve and be pushing so the valve's open. So when you put air in, all the air just comes out, comes down your barrel. So you've got to cock it, because it's got a regulator, and you've got to try and fill that regulator up. So let's get the right, okay, so let's get that ready. We'll just put the okay, so that's now got its adapter in to fill it up, and now I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get this in view. Right, okay, so there's the compressor. Yeah, this is a time clock, same as that, right? So at the moment, since Richard repaired it and me putting the new motherboard in, I've done 0.2 of an hour filling up with rifles. So I just start it up. Right, you can hear it. You can hear it whirring now, and now I can turn it on, and the fans have come on. Oh. Right, okay. I turn it on at the bottom. The fan's on. Make sure your bleed valve's open. Press the button and close your bleed valve. Now that will take time to put the air in, because it's got to go through the regulator, and we're almost now at 1000 psi. I've got it set to 200, and the rifle takes 250. And this unit here, because of the vibration, it's got a little flashing thing, and soon that's just changed to 3 now, from 2 to 3. So compressor is very, very good. As I say, the length of time I've had it, when that motherboard went down, that was the first time it ever gave me trouble. And funny enough, it had to be on the day when I received that FX DRX. Now this will cut off automatically, and now I've got the new motherboard in. Okay, so that's cut off. I can just bleed the air out of it. So I can leave that open now. This is the original date when I've got it, 24th of the 5th, 23. Motherboard repair on the 14th of the 2nd, 2026. Again, thanks Richard for doing this. Yeah, okay, so now we can just take this out. I like to do that. Right, okay, so all the air's back in, just under 200 bar, and I can release and it's ready now for shooting. Yeah, okay, so I'll try that out tomorrow because it's raining and it's windy outside, so let's turn this off. So the compressor's working as good as new now, you know, everything's working, and yeah, well pleased with it. So if you enjoyed the video, it's going to be a long one, 44 minutes, 45 minutes, and if you enjoyed it, just give you a thumbs up, leave your comments, and I'm going to wait until I get this magnifying scope. It's an electric one, I forget what they call them, and then I can really check the pellet, but I've got the markings down where it was hard to go in. Okay, so what I do well, when I strip it down again, is polish these parts, and then once the barrel's completely polished, once these parts are polished, I can then polish the whole barrel to make it even, and we can, you know, this might take another week or so, you know what I mean, but anyway, So I'll see you later. Okay, bye.